Okay, guys. So this is going to be a short video on how to review your stories. So today we're using an expository text, and I just want to focus on small, important elements of this passage. So every time that you start with a passage, I want you to skim over your story. Even though that your test is going to be on a computer, you can just look over it. Look at how many pictures are there. Look at your title, read it, and see maybe if you can figure out what your story is about. Look at the paragraphs. You can look at the words that you're not familiar with. The tools on your test that's on the computer will give you, you can use like highlighters, post-it notes, and things like that, kind of like what you took on the STAR test last year. Then you can also look at, you can read your questions before you even read your passage. You can look at words that you don't understand and look them up in the dictionary, kind of breaking it down. So when you finish reading your passage, this is already broken down and it'll be more familiar for you. Okay. So after you skim, I'm going to write just our steps here. Skim the article. That means look over it. So the second thing that we're going to be doing, I want you to look at your picture. So you might think, well, I don't even know what that looks like, Mrs. Almost like I don't see the picture. Well, right here, this is a forest. And this is a geyser. This is actually water and pressure coming from the ground. Okay, because this is in Yellowstone Park. Okay, so now I understand, right? I know right now, before even reading it, that this is going to be maybe about a park, a forest, having to do with this. Okay, maybe it's science, maybe it's nature. So look at the pictures. Number 3, look at the title. Try to guess what the story's about just by reading the title. So in my knowledge, preserving means the word save. Okay, save the future. Okay, that'll make a little bit sense after I read it. From there, I'm having to look at words that I don't know. So I'm going to have to look them up. Because if you do not know the meaning of words, particularly in the paragraphs, you're not going to know what the paragraph is about. So I can circle words like circulated. I can look for words like perspective, subsequent. And when I look them up, I can add my definitions to the side. Okay. And I want you to look at your underlined words, because every time that you see an underlined word, there's always going to be a question about it. Okay. So then once you look at all the words that you don't know, then prepare to read. And I'm going to put here at least 3 times read it. Okay. While you're reading, I want you to annotate. Annotate, when you read, you're going to make notes on the side of your paper. So after I've read that, I can say something. Well, after I read it, I think it says ... or it means, and this will help your thinking as what to understand while you're reading. Okay, you're going to do this for every paragraph that you see. And take your time, guys. Please take your time in your paragraphs to make sure that you fully understand. That way it'll prepare you to take the questions and get them correct. From there, once you go into your questions, what you're going to do is circle key terms, key words. And if you need to look them up, you may use your dictionary. From there, hold on, let me just go ahead and add number 7 down here. Number 7 is questions. And we're looking for key words. Then we're gonna do your 50, 50, and silly answers. So after reading the text, once you are comfortable with what the story is about, you're going to go to your questions. And after you've highlighted and look up words that you don't know, you're going to read the answers one at a time. Now, we all know that for these 4 answers, you're always going to find a silly answer. So the first thing that you're going to look up is your silly answers. How do you identify the silly answers? Make a silly face. Draw a silly face. So let's pretend that letter A is a silly answer. You read it and like, well, that can't be the answer. It's a silly answer. And then letter C is a silly answer, right? Once you find your silly answers, delete those answers. Now you're left with 2 answers. And those 2 answers that are left, we're going to call them 50, 50. And those 50, 50 answers, what they're called this because it's a 50, 50 chance of getting it correct and a 50 chance of getting it wrong. Now it's easier to find the wrong answer first. Yes, I did say find the wrong answer first. It's easier to find the wrong answer. So how do you find the wrong answer, Mrs. Demos? Well, if you read both answers, you need to make sure that the answer that you choose is directly related to the text, to the story, to the paragraphs that you read. Once you find the wrong answer, let's just say letter B is the wrong answer. We're going to cross it out, and then letter D is your answer. And what you did, you used your judgment with your silly answers, and you went back and looked for text evidence, text support, and then you get your answer. You can also write little notes on the side. And those of you who remember any test strategies from school, from when you were in elementary, you can totally use them. Absolutely. So again, we're going to practice 50-50 and silly answers. So again, you're going to look at your question. You're going to highlight any keywords to help you answer the question. Okay. So like a keyword would be picture. So you're going to have to go to the picture, and it's a geyser, right? Then from there, after you understand the question, you're going to look at your answers, F, G, H, and J. The first thing that you're going to look for are your silly answers, the ones that do not make any sense to the question. The picture of the geyser is included with this selection to help the reader identify where Yellowstone is located, show the reader that Yellowstone is a special place, prove rumors about Yellowstone were true, explain why Congress made Yellowstone a national park. So the silly answers, first of all, it's not going to help us look for Yellowstone. It's not going to help us prove that the rumors that Yellowstone were true. So after I do that, I'm going to cross it out. Why do we have to cross it out, Mrs. Lemos? Because when they're crossed out, then you know then you're only going to focus on the 50-50 answers. So here's 50-50 number 1, and then here's your other 50-50. Remember, 50-50 means it could be 50% correct and 50% wrong. From there, you're going to go back to your text to see which is the one that is best supported. But again, we're looking for the wrong answer first. Once you find the wrong answer, okay, you cross it out, and you're left with the correct one. So going back to the steps, number 1, skim your article. Look at it. Look at the pictures. Look at what is available for you. Look at your pictures. Tell what it is. Why do you always think, why did the author use it, and how is it connected to the story? Your title. Your title can be your main idea. So make sure that you understand what the title means. Number 4, look up your words. Words that you do not know, you need to use a dictionary and look them up, because if not, you're not going to understand it. Number 5, read the text at least 3 times or more so you can understand it. The more that you read it, the more that you understand it. Then while you're reading, make some notes, annotate your notes on the side. This will help you bring more meaning to what it means, the paragraphs means, how the paragraphs are connected to the title, how the paragraphs are connected to the picture. They all flow. Number 7, look at your questions, underline keywords, and if you have to look up words that you don't know, look them up as well. Then from there, you are going to label your answers, either silly answers or 50-50. And remember, you must look for the wrong answer first. That way, whatever's left over is your correct answer. Replay this video as many times as you want to understand these test strategies.